Yes, brothers and sisters, we are finally back again for another reaction on this here Brbptv. Be real, be positive television, brothers and sisters. I'm your boy Mr. Leaks. Welcome, guys. I actually dropped a previous reaction on the Mr. Leaks reaction, guys. That link will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys, as well as the previous reaction video on this here channel right there and then. With that said, guys, welcome. Let us get into the vibrations for today. Right there. Now, brothers and sisters, I must make mention of this particular thing that I'm seeing right there, guys. It seems like there's some sort of job opportunity. Now, guys, I don't always put my hope in certain things that people tend to do, especially when it comes down to what the government is involved in. I need to see it myself to believe it. You know, government says a lot of things that you don't believe. But of course, in this regard right there, guys, we see that there's some sort of international job fair. I don't know if they listen to me when I say about they keep hiring people from overseas. Anyways, they have this thing right there, guys, from Montreal Management Consultant, MMCE. The people who in charge of our money outside of Dominica, it seems. The cover for Dominica International Airport. They have a job fair on Monday 28th and Tuesday 29th of this month from 10 a.m. between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right there, guys. Come visit for more information. And where will it take place? At the Windsor Park Sports Stadium Conference Center. I didn't know Windsor Park have a conference center. But anyways, brothers and sisters. So 29th, 28th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Windsor Park Sports Stadium. If you want to go get a job, I would advocate anybody trying their best to see if they can make something out of themselves. At least try. You know, the Dominica is not doing the best at all. So when there's opportunities for jobs, take it, brothers and sisters. Go out there and take it. I was showing an individual doing a hustle out there selling cords, you know, cords and stuff for phones and what have you, and covers for phones and stuff. He in Roseau doing his thing, hustling, and of course, you know, things are tight in the country. So, you know, if they want to hire you, doesn't matter if they want to underpay you, brothers and sisters. At least getting underpaid is better than, you know, not zero pay at all. Although I do not agree with that sentiment. I think individuals who have the skill sets, and there are a number of Dominicans who can actually pull it off, need to get the necessary pay that they need. I actually studied yesterday concerning the whole thing with Clare Harbour, brothers and sisters. When Clare Harbour wanted to pay the Dominican citizens who are working for them in Dominica, they wanted to pay them in US, but the government did not want it. Because they're saying that the workers would have left the government work to go and work in Clare Harbour, which they should have right to do. I mean, if you're getting paid $1,200 per month, 1,002 is about what? 3,004 around there, $3,400 a month, $3,300 a month, EC dollars. I mean, that's a good amount of money to make. But instead, right now, they're paying people 1,001 something or 1,002 something. EC dollars, you know. But my brothers and sisters, you know, if you get a little money here and there, try your best to see if you can get it. If you are skilled, make sure these people pay you what you truly deserve right here. Anyways, brothers and sisters, moving along, I saw this thing rather interesting. I actually pointed it out myself without seeing this thing. This thing was sent to me yesterday, circulating amongst Labour people. It seems like they're giving the Labour people something that they need to say for this electoral commission meet, which I find it mind-boggling that what they're saying doesn't make any sense. We're talking about having free and fair elections, and this is the best thing that you can come up with to have free and fair elections. This is what they're saying: to oppose any suggestion of denying people who reside overseas from voting. The people in the country are being affected. Right? The people in the country are being affected. These people go overseas for them to have a better life for themselves. Like the Prime Minister making children born overseas to have a better life for themselves when they get older and things go, you know, haywire in Dominica. That's probably why he made them born overseas, because he knows things are going to go terrible in Dominica. Anyways, you know, people go overseas to make a better life for themselves. Then you mean to tell me these people can not be in Dominica for a certain amount of period of time that is conducive for them to make a proper consent? Yes, they are Dominicans, but they need to be in Dominica as well. Come and spend, like I said before, I believe every Dominican who want to vote should at least stay 2-3 months in Dominica every year. Yes, if they can do this, then of course, we're trying to make things free and fair. Or if that is not the case, they need to have their own constituency. We are 21 right now. Rosie said make 2 additional digital constituencies. I thought making just 1 instead, but I guess if you make 1, it just balances out to 22. If there's, you know, Both sides, if UWP has 11 and Labour has 11, then there would be, there needs to be a tiebreaker. So I understand why Rosie was thinking of having 2 digital constituencies for the overseas voters. Let them vote inside there so they wouldn't affect the rest of the country or the people, the will of the people in the country who are actually facing the whole thing for days upon their lives, months and years upon their lives, facing the kind of craziness that's going on. And you mean to tell me people in there are opposing the suggestion that people from overseas should not have the right to vote? Or given stipulations that if they have to stay overseas, they need to come to Dominica for a good amount of time so that they can understand and feel it for themselves. When people just come in for the fun of things, we come in for fun. World Creole Festival, we come in for Carnival, Christmas, when things are up and bubbling to a certain extent, they come for these things. They stay for 1 week and they go. Every time they stay for 1 week, 2 weeks max, and they go. Sometimes they come to Dominica, they come for Dominica for a few days. They leave Dominica. Brothers and sisters, that actually happened to a friend of mine. He came to Dominica, has been Dominica for a long, long time. He came to Dominica, spent 4 days in Dominica, then went to Martinique for the rest of his 2 weeks. 4 days. His family Dominica came with his sister. Yes, his sister said they didn't come to Dominica. She went straight to Martinique. So he came there to meet them, and then they went to Martinique afterwards, brothers and sisters. And then people just say, I have the, that making sense for free and fair elections in Dominica. Make it make sense. But that's what they're pushing to the observers right there. Second one, I oppose to the need for fingerprinting of voters. The very thing that can identify you. You print it on your voter ID cards. That is you. You cannot come and say I'm somebody else. You cannot say I'm somebody else. You have it there to make it free and fair. At least the possibility of having free and fair elections. You say no, take it out. We opposing that. Really? What are we looking at? I want to search for free and fair elections. You mean to tell me you want to oppose fingerprinting as if when you go over other countries, especially for the visa thing? No. You need to take fingerprints to come to the people country. You need to take fingerprints, brothers and sisters, for you to then have the proper ability to say, I am definitely able to vote in Dominica. You don't want that. You're saying you oppose that. Really? Really? Next one is, in the video say, I support a national ID card. I understand the sentiment of having a national ID cards, but for what reason? Voter ID cards is necessary for voter ID cards. And if you have a national ID card, wouldn't you have to be paying a set of money every year? Just like they're paying for license every year or every 2 years? And if you have the voter ID cards and a number of persons will say, indicating, hey guys, it might cost extra money. So all the monies that has been squandered, especially the monies, remember the budget, brothers and sisters, of 2020, 2022 to 2023? Remember the allocated amount of monies for agriculture? I think there was about $15 million allocated for agriculture, tourism, one of them. And only about $1.5 million was used. And you complaining about not having the amounts of money to initiate voter ID. Well, if you're initiating voter ID card, if you don't want, if you think there's a problem with voter ID cards, well, and you think that we're not going to waste money, when we wasted money already, because the Prime Minister them had a few amount of monies, and it increased up to $250 something million or $300 something million when it was just a few $1 million initially. Anyways, brothers and sisters, the whole point there is, if we need to have free and fair elections, not just for you, but for everybody. It's clear what the people are asking. We need voter ID cards, not just national identification cards. If you want to complain and say, oh, we need to put additional, yes, pay $20 every 5 years or $30 every 5 years. You pay $100 and something for your license every year. Pay $20, $30 every 5 years. You can't do that. $100 every 5 years. You can do that to ensure that we have free and fair elections. You telling me, well, then again, that's what they're pushing, and the people themselves pushing this. Come in and talk, and then scare them showing up in public consultation after they had their own meeting. What they doing there? What they doing there? Trying to intimidate people so people won't talk, and then your people talking and spewing this rubbish that there. Anyways, once someone is registered to vote, that person should only be removed from the list if that person is there. I cannot agree with that sentiment with the understanding that the overseas voters have their own constituencies to vote in. They should not come and affect the others. If that is not the case, if they need to come to spend at least 2 to 3 months in Dominica every year. Nobody tell you go overseas and make better life for yourself to come and screw up Dominica. You know, just come and vote. They send you passport. I know. I met some of the individuals that were giving people tickets to go to Dominica to vote under the DLP. I know. I met someone. And someone that met me the last time and said they're not in it again. They cannot support all the craziness that's going on in the country. They cannot. Ah, boy. And then they say only deaf brothers and sisters. If you're outside the country for a limited amount of time, then you should not have the right to vote. I heard some lady speaking about, oh, you don't have to be a citizen to vote. She's right. If you stay in Dominica for a long time period, that gives the individuals who are also paying taxes in Dominica and so forth the right to vote as well. As a CARICOM citizen, they get the right to vote as well, brothers and sisters, because they're living in the country. How you saying you Dominican living overseas and not spending as much time as the people who are from overseas who living in Dominica and think you have more right than them because you're born in the country but living somewhere else? As the people go in and feeling the blunt in Dominica? Come on, man. Not about citizenship. It's about living in the country and feeling it. So come and spend 2-3 months a year. 2 months minimum a year. Come and spend that in Dominica and feel a little blunt, man. You think it's just have fun. Come for fun times and think Dominica is fun. I don't support the expansion of Electoral Commission. Well, that speaks for itself. Some people are saying it's restricted to individuals out there who keep cramping it down. They need people equal representation across the board for electoral commissions. And I agree with the expansion of it. Campaign finance legislation makes no sense for Dominica. I don't agree that the treasury should be given should give any political party or candidate money for elections. So I expect them to get the money. I understand the sentiment of raising your funds and so forth. I understand that. But if equal playing field was given and then individuals can raise their funds within the country. Furthermore, I don't think elections should be anything about having money to try to wow people. Let your work speak for itself. If your work doesn't speak for itself, then you should come out there. How on earth we killing the economy in Dominica and coming and say, and then people coming to push this narrative? Really? You coming to push this narrative? And you living in the country that you going in? Just so you can get a few dollars? And I know the system works, you know. I know the system works. Some people might have gotten a certain amount of money for them to come and push this narrative. And they don't care because they're looking for themselves. And that is the problem in Dominica. A lot of people are looking for themselves. They're looking for the economy. Brothers and sisters, we need to stop focusing on ourselves. If we listen to the great book, we consider ourselves a Christian nation. But apparently, you don't seem to understand what the Bible is telling us now. Greed goes before fall, you know. You know that? Pride goes before fall. Pride creates greed. Greed goes before fall. Because you're looking for you. And it's very evident when you get the little monies that they're giving you to push this narrative, you're living in the same country that keeping you down. You don't understand what's going on. And the understanding to have free and fair elections on the basis of setting up certain things that need to be hard. You're saying that they should not be hard to have free and fair elections. Really? Really? Ay. Help us, Father. I know some particular individual was talking about voter ID cards, brothers and sisters. Why we need it? That person, that it seems like the sentiment. I saw them, I was like, that cannot be. Individuals talking against the very own free and fair elections that they need to be had. Well, the understanding is not just for you. It's for everybody. And voter ID cards is very much needed in Dominica. Yes, with the fingerprints and all. Yes, man. Take a listen to this. This is Antigua right here, brothers and sisters. Antigua voter ID cards, eh?
My name is Elisa Graham, and I'm the Public Relations Officer for the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission.
So that is Antigua and Barbuda, just in case all you don't know. Okay? Why is voter ID cards necessary?
Do you have a voter's ID card?
Do you? Do you have a voter's ID card? All right.
Why do you need a voter's ID
Or a EIC, electoral identification card?
card? If you are over the age of 18 years, here are some of the reasons why you should register in order to receive your voter's identification card.
Why is it so important? Let's see.
It is your evidence that you are duly registered.
It is your evidence why voter ID cards are necessary. It's your evidence that you are duly registered to vote. A national identification card does not say this. It does not say this, brothers and sisters. Therefore, the voter ID cards shows your registration. Of course, they should have some stipulations between the time and whatnot, brothers and sisters. We have to re-register. Not necessarily re-register. You are there just like you have your license already. You don't have to go and take the test again. You have to come, pay your monies and so forth. They do or whatever test they doing with your vehicle and what have you. And then they give you your stuff that's licensed. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. Anyways, the voter ID cards is your evidence that you are duly registered. I think that's vital for free and fair elections. Don't you think so?
It verifies your identity because it shows your photograph, your signature, your date of birth, and your fingerprints.
Yes, brothers. You see why fingerprints are necessary? Because it verifies who you are. So people can't come and say, why is this person and that person allow you to come in and all this kind of nonsense. Or you go some other constituency because your name there, or you go and vote under your father's name because your father passed away and you go. No, brothers and sisters. And yes, people have been complaining about the death. There was another one that they forget to put on this thing. They stated that to remove people. I heard, I was listening to Shem. He was taking some Shem, some ridiculous. Anyways, he was stating the understanding that, once he's registered, he doesn't need to go anywhere else and what have you. And he's not going to re-register and this kind of things there. But if it's needed for free and fair elections, it's definitely go out there or don't go and register. It's simple. Don't go out there and register for free and fair elections. To reflect the will of the people. No, people just look at the party or what they're getting from the party themselves, not realizing that their future is coming up. Some people don't even want to have children because they realize where the children are going to be in. Let's continue.
It prevents the possibility of voting more than once.
It prevents... you see why voter ID cards are necessary? It prevents you from voting more than once. Or you think you're going to have a fingerprint there and your fingerprint over there? Okay. No, it doesn't work so. If your fingerprint there, the system will detect and they say there's two people there that should not be. Voter ID cards is needed. This is why the Prime Minister does not want voter ID cards. The Prime Minister really does not want voter ID cards. And he wants the people to say about electoral modernization. What foolishness are in there? Reform we need, not modernization.
During an election, it allows voting in areas where you may not be known personally, especially if you have recently transferred prior to an electoral process.
It's very simple.
It is a valid form of identification and is accepted as major institutions to include banks, immigration, and insurance agencies.
So it can be used for other things, not just voting, but a means of identification, because your birth will be there, and a number of other information will be there to identify who you are, including your fingerprints. Including your fingerprints, brothers and sisters, I will identify who you are. It would be also nice to have a scanning thing. When you put the thing in, beep, it shows you, beep, okay, cool. You are alive and well. So that people who are passed away can... Voter ID cards eliminates dead people voting, Because you cannot take dead people's fingerprint and put it on thing and can pass it as yourself. When you have your own as well to come, well, it's either you honor the dead person or you honor yourself. This is why voter ID cards is definitely a necessity.
Now you know. Register for your voter's ID card today. The cost for replacing your voter's identification card is $100 EC.
So those people I want to complain about and say, why would you go and spend the resources of treasury or whatever to create these things? Well, you can pay $100 every 5 years, or if you lose your card, you pay $100 to get your card. Not true. I mean, it's in the system already, All you need to do is print it for you, and yes, you're good to go. If you lose it, That's why you don't lose it. What do you do here? Let me bring it back again.
Age of 18 years, here are some of the reasons why you should register. It is your evidence that you are duly registered.
It is your evidence that you are duly registered.
Shows your photograph.
It verifies your identity. Prevents multiple voting in an election, so you can only vote once. Because I know some people were talking about the thumb, the purple thing on your thumb, and then some people were able to take it out and go and vote other places. Some people, guys, I remember just a little tip I put on my finger. I just put a little tip because I check in. Yeah, look at there, and I can't put my whole thumb in thing. What I been So people can easily take that out, Clorox or whatnot, clear it out. When you vote ID once, it'll be there, registered. Boom. Continue. And you want the modernization, use the thing where it scans your thing to say, okay, beep, beep, that person says who they are. Boom. That person gets a paper. They go inside. Boom. They come out. They cannot go anywhere else to do. This is why voter ID cards are necessary to create free and fair elections. I don't understand. What is the problem? Anyways, brothers and sisters, let's move on right there. Prevents multiple voting in an election. Allows voting in areas where you may not be known personally. That's something that they tend to use. And if they have this there, that means people can vote in places where they are not necessarily known. Once they call the names and whatnot, you can make fake IDs and all those kind of things there, but your fingerprint, fake your fingerprint, no please. Fake it, let me see. Another one is, it is valid form of identification and is accepted at major institutions, so it can be used all over the place right there, like your license can be used. I think it's necessary. And of course, to replace your cards, I guess maybe they give it for free, or maybe they can do this. They can probably say, okay, we'll do it. It'll be handled by the country. Of course, the country has extra monies that it doesn't use in the budget. You know, the 15 million, and you're only using 1.5 million. I mean, that makes, we can use $1 million to get the machines to at least print the cards and what have you, brothers and sisters, and then send it out. And then if you lose your card and whatnot, then you pay $100, and this kind of thing there. Or at least pay $20 initially. I'm just thinking right out there, we need voter ID cards. That's a necessity for the elections to have free and fair. At least any slight possible chance of free and fair elections. And they come in and tell their people in their sphere to come to the meetings and say, we don't want this. You don't want it, but it's needed for free and fair elections. So you don't want free and fair elections. Huh? All right then. Yes, brothers and sisters. Then they're going to go to the president now, and the president has, okay, we have spoken to the people. This is what the people have said. No, we are out there in the streets. We are on social media telling you we want voter ID cards. So you cannot say that the people never say they wanted voter ID cards. They do. You see the hundreds of people I was in Roseau the other day. The hundreds of people I was in Roseau the other day, brothers and sisters. I wanted at least 10,000 people there. But hey, we will take the few hundreds at least. Is that the people wanting free and fair elections versus the amount of people I was in the consultation. They bring their own people there. They bring their own people there and they push in a narrative to come and say this rubbish. There's even more, I forget, campaign finance. Well, I studied this one right there, brothers and sisters. Talking about the campaign finance. I don't think I touched on the campaign finance. Well, I did. I spoke about if individuals can have the same amount. Okay, DLP gets $1 million, UWP gets $1 million. The rest is up to you to raise funds. You want to have concerts and whatnot. No problem. Raise the funds. How on earth we bringing people from all over to help influence? And then on stage saying that it is before the concert saying, oh, it's a neutral thing. Everybody come and you give thanks and whatnot. And then you on stage dressed in red. And then the artists come in and say, hey, we side with this party. Really? This is my boy. This is the party that we side with. One of the things that I like Barry's when Barry's came, I don't think Barry, well, he had a shirt, he took it out when he was performing, but I don't think he ever indicated some way in which you should think. It's been a moment. I was on stage, brothers and sisters, and you know, some of the DLP people watching me on stage behind fence and on the stage. Anyways, brothers and sisters, yeah, so they coming on stage and most of the concerts coming, and especially Donnie McClurkin, I was very disappointed in that. He had his gray shirt, he changed his shirt and put in a red shirt, and then he come in and tell you it's for everybody. What are your thoughts, guys? Is it just me? What are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. Don't forget to check out the previous reaction I did on the Mystics reaction, guys. That link will be in the first comment in the comment box below, as well as a previous reaction on this year channel right there. And then, guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. I think I had something else, you know. Let me see. What is this? Oh, guys, Trilogy said, all you, honestly, we need to take our country back. Trilogy, he won Calypso 2023. There, brothers and sisters, and he come with some bangers. Even though Scary wanted to lash him, and Scary take one piece of what he's saying, one piece of what he's saying instead of the whole song. Hey, there's something else about it. One piece, just like they did for the Al Jazeera thing. The whole thing, well, 80% of the thing was on what Scared was doing, with the middleman speaking about what Scared was doing, and just one piece they take to make a whole uproar, and they make their people run with that one piece and started creating confusion in people, and people, oh, Lennox did this, and really, my guy? Look, they deny the passport. Is Lennox that caused that? Huh? Only never ask all those questions. Is Lennox that caused this craziness to happen there, where they stop people from having visa-free access? Is Lennox that caused that? No? Okay. Only let me know. Trilogy said it well. Trill on the mic said, all you, honestly, we need to do what? Take back our country. Okay? Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Be real. Be positive.